Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. Today I have a great project for you. But first, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so that you are alerted every time I drop a new video. On to the project. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create these fun fractured cards, sometimes called faux shutter cards. I'll make 3 different cards so you can see a variety of ways you can do this. But there are so many directions you can take this. Okay, let's start with the first one, which is the easiest one. And you need a card base. Here I'm just using a card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you need a piece of pattern paper that's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, and that's going to be the base of our card. And then you need a piece of coordinating cardstock, something that will kind of stand out. And this is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so we are going to adhere it to our card front. Okay, and I'm going to try and center it. And let me use my mat to basically center this. So I'm centering it on the 6 inches. I've got 2 inches here and 2 inches there. And I'm going to put this on point on the diagonal so that this point lines up with the 6 inches and this point lines up with the 6 inches. Okay, and then you want to try and make sure that it's not crooked. So I'm going to make sure this point is aligned with one of the rows on my Versamat, and then this one is aligned with one of the rows. Now I have this so it's not directly in the center. It's a little bit up higher, okay, but there's really no specific location you need to put it. But that's kind of where I'm going to go. And now what you need are 4 pieces of 1/4 inch cardstock. And on this one, I am going to make it the same color as my square here in the middle, but you can make it a different color if you want. And this is just a piece of 12 inches by 1/4 inch. You don't need it quite this long because we are going to be cutting some off, but it's just easy to, cut a few 1/4 inch strips off of a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, so really easy. Okay, I'm going to take the first one, and I'm not putting any adhesive on it. I'm just going to set it up against this angle here. And it's going to sort of serve as the template. And then I'm going to take another one of my strips, and I'm going to apply adhesive all on it. Okay, and then I'm going to butt this end up against this piece that I'm using as a guide. So I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to put it right up against the square. We don't want any space between the two. Okay, and then we'll take the next one. Add some adhesive, butt it up against here. Okay, you can remove this one now. Take this one, butt it up against here, and we're just going to sort of go around in a circle. So you can see they don't need to be 12 inches, but you need to try and make sure that they're long enough so that it goes all the way off the paper. Okay, and then this last one, I'm going to go this way. So now we've got all 4 directions. Okay, and then I will trim these. You can trim it like this if you want. You can use your trimmer to cut these, but I found that when I use my trimmer, I kind of cut into this rectangle and so it made my rectangle a little bit wonky. So I prefer to just do it with my scissors. Okay, then you can take these, and really you have enough to do another card with these. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. But basically you're almost done. Now we're just going to put it on our card base. Make sure that you don't put this on the card base before you put the strips on, or you won't be able to, cut them off as you want. Okay, and then I'm just going to center this. And then you just need to decorate it. So I have a couple ideas. I have this strip of the square of white daisy. It is 2 inches by 2 inches. And I'm only adding this because there's a sticker I want to put on here, and I think it will show up better if I do this. So I'm going to center this onto the square. So this is a strip, the strip, 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 and the square is on the inside. So hopefully you can see how I did that. And then I found this sticker here that I thought was kind of cute. You can pop this up, which I think I'm going to. Let's just pop it up. I wasn't going to because I'm going to be adding things inside the card. I wanted to use this for a customer thank you. But I think it'll look better this way. Look better popped up because it's a little bit bigger than that white square. Okay, let's just pop this on here. I think he's so cute. Okay, and then I cut out this small thank you. I think I'm going to put it here. Okay, and I'll just cut it about someplace around in here. So you can decorate however you want. I'm going to decorate it this way. And then I'm going to flag this end, dovetail it. Just a little bit. Okay. Put it like that. I think I might trim a little bit. There you go. So just adding some adhesive here. I could put it right here. I could put something right across there, but I like it like that. Okay, and I have some dots. Let's see if we want to add some of these dots. Do I want to add? I don't think I want to add dots. I don't think I want to. Okay, so this first one's done, and you can see how easy that is. It looks like they are different squares of paper, but they're not. That's why this one's the easiest. Okay, for the next card, we are going to use 4 different patterned papers, whereas this one we just used the one design. Okay, so I'm going to actually use a colored cardstock as my base instead of the white card base. And this piece is 8.5 by 5.5, and I just folded it in half along the center. And I'll set this aside. And then we need a piece of white daisy cardstock. And this is 4 inches by 5.25. Okay. And then we need a piece of colored cardstock, and I chose the color that matched my card base. So this is Flamingo from Close to My Heart. So I'm just going to adhere this down. And on this one, we do want to try and center it. So let me just put it 2, 3, 1, 2, okay. So from here, that looks pretty good. It doesn't have to be exact, but it should be pretty close. Okay, now I'm going to use flamingo strips. Again, these are 1/4 inch. These are a little bit shorter. I think they're about 6 inches, but they should work too. Okay, again, we're going to put the first one down without any adhesive just to serve as a guide. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on these and go all the way around like we did the last time. But you can see on this one, it's a little bit different because the first one, we used the pattern paper as our base. This one, we're just using white daisy as our base. Okay, let's do the next one. And go all the way around. Again, I'm butting it up against each one that had come before. Do this one. And then the last one. And with Close to My Heart paper, you know our paper is two-toned. And so you want to make sure that you're always using the same side. Like I use the dark side of flamingo, just so these all sort of match. Okay, now I'm going to cut these off, the extra. And again, I'm using my scissors because I feel like I have a little bit better control and I don't cut into my cardstock, which I seem to do whenever I tried it on my cutter. Okay, there we go. And now what we're going to do is take our pieces and we're just going to sort of fit them into the remaining squares. And these pieces I cut 2 1/4 by 4, and they should be just the right size. There's going to be some waste, but you won't really be able to help that. But these will be pretty good with in minimizing your waste. Okay, I'm gonna put this over. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. And these are all coordinated papers from the Flower Shop collection by Close to My Heart. So they go together so beautifully. And you notice I'm just butting them up right into that corner. Okay, and the last one. Okay, now it might look a little bit crazy right now, but you'll see it will work out beautifully. And now we're just going to cut against the base. So you can see this is why you need the white daisy sort of to serve as a base, even though you don't really see it. That's why I wouldn't waste like good pattern paper or cardstock on it. And then just go all the way around and cut this right up against that white daisy. And I'm cutting it from the back so I can see where the edge of the paper is. This is actually a good way to use up scraps from your collection. If you have, 4 different scraps that are at least 2 1/4 by 4, you can make this. I think I need to straighten up a couple of these edges here. I didn't get right up against the white. But you want to be careful because you know how it is. If you start going down the road of taking off just a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch, and then you start cutting into the card base. Okay. I feel like this piece here needs to, there we go. Okay, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now all we have to do is adhere this to the card base. And again, I use Flamingo. And I'm just going to center it right on that card front. And I stamped this for my beautiful friend. I could pop it up. Let's pop it up. To give it a little bit of drama. I could have also maybe ink the edges if I wanted to. This one, I do think I'm going to put some dots on this one. Just because this is pretty simple here. Put that there. Put this up here. Let's see if I have a little mini one here. There. Okay. Now, since I used a solid colored card base, the inside is colored and the light side of Flamingo. And actually this one it's kind of light enough to write on, but normally when I used cardstock as my base instead of white daisy, I will pop in a piece of white cardstock, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so there's the second one. So cute. You can see they're different but the same. This one, it has all the same paper behind. And this was very easy because it's deceptive, but it's one sheet behind there. Whereas this one is definitely 4 different squares of pattern paper. Now the last one I want to show you is, it doesn't have to be a square in the center. This one I did a rectangle sort of on a diagonal. So let's try one that's similar to this. Okay, and this one I'm going to use the Flamingo card base again, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I will fold it in half for my card base. Okay, and here I'm going to use this paper. This is my absolute favorite. Oh, maybe I should use this one. No, I'm going to use this one because I love it. I'm going to use this one. So again, this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And here I'm using a rectangle, and this rectangle is 2.5 by 1 1/4. This is actually cut out of our rectangle thin cuts. So I just use that. You can see it's dashed around it. And I stamped "Grateful for You, Friend." I think that's from maybe the May stamp of the month. And what I'm doing on this one is I'm just going to kind of put this askew a little bit. And it doesn't really matter where it is. I liked it down in sort of the bottom right corner. But on this one, I tried to place it so I can still see a lot of these flowers. Okay. Now on this one, I'm going to use White Daisy as my strips. Okay, and the first one, I'm just going to pop here and use as my guide. The second one, let's tear it down. So this one does not have adhesive. I'm just using it as my guide. But this one up against that guide. Okay, now I can take this off. And then go all the way around. And I'm butting them up against each other. I'm trying to make it so that it's right up against this rectangle, so no space is showing between that. And then the last one. And you want to make sure that there is adhesive all the way to the end so that it sticks and doesn't flop up. Okay, then cut these off. Now on this one, I did use the single pattern paper base like I did the first one, but you could do the same thing that I did on the last one and use 4 different pieces of paper. The one thing is you might have to have a little bit bigger, longer strips than the 2 1/4 by 4, because this one looks to be, well, it might work, it might still work. Okay, and we're just going to pop this onto our card base. I love this pattern paper that with the sapphire and the flamingo against the flamingo background. Isn't that pretty? And let's see, I have some, oh, you know what? I was going to use these stars, or these dots. I thought the green might stand out. Where are we going to put these guys? Let's put it maybe here. I want you to be able to see them. I'm going to put it maybe down there. If they're in the dark blue, they kind of stand out better. And then one down here. Okay, there we go. And this one, I'm going to, again, since I used the colored cardstock, I'm going to put a white base down inside. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. This is just so you can stamp your sentiment or write inside, and it will show up nicely. I'm just centering it in here. These are the 3 cards that I made. There's so many other things you could do with this. You can make a different shape. The shapes do have to be have points to them. Like you can't use a circle. You can't use a circle as your base because how would you put the strips around it, right? The strips, you can't go around this very easy. But you can use a hexagon. I will tell you, if you do the hexagon, you're going to need to miter where they butt up. You see how this is? You see how if I try to butt it up, there's a little bit of a square there. So you do need to miter those corners, but it works with a hexagon also. Okay. So there you have it. The one thing I will tell you is if you're going to do one that has the 4 different designs, you want to try to not use paper that is directional so that it looks like it's off. Like if you have a pattern with, I don't know, say a bear or a dog or something, and he's upside down, on this one, it might not look good, or you might not like the look of it. So if you do have something that is directional, you're going to try and fit it into a square where the direction looks the least problematic. Okay, these ones I used all non-directional pattern, and that's why I selected these, because I figured no matter where I put them, it will look good. Okay, so there you go. I hope you enjoy this project. I hope you enjoyed the project. The products seen in the video can be purchased at my website, thecraftychemist.stampinup.net. I have a Facebook group, Crafty Chemist Designs, where I go live and do demos every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time. I also have a Facebook VIP group, The Crafty Chemist Presents Stampin' Up. Find me on Instagram at Crafty Chemist Designs, TikTok at Crafty Chemist Designs, YouTube at Crafty Chemist Designs, and my blog, periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com.